Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've just got in from work and I thought I'd make a quick video whilst I think about it of what you can do with an old microphone in terms of recording the activity of the heart. So what I've got is this microphone that I'm using at the moment. It's a rather old microphone that was kicking around and I trod on it, breaking the head off it. So I thought I might as well make good use of it and see if I can turn it into a nice digital stethoscope. Okay, so first of all, I've put on the end of it here a little bit of 3D printed plastic with a little well inside it to act as a little chamber for the microphone. And the first thing I want to show you is the sound of the heart that you can record directly using this microphone against the chest. So let me do that first. Now it may well be that that was a little bit hard to hear, so what I want to show you is what that waveform looks like on a visualization program, and for that I've used Audacity, which is over here running on this screen. So here is the sound that I'm producing at the moment by talking, and if I just stop talking and put this against my chest, you'll be able to see the waveform of the heartbeat. Okay, so what you can actually see are multiple waveforms that are repeating here. Each of these large waves here is one heartbeat, and in fact in that heartbeat there are multiple sounds. There's a large rapid set of oscillations first, then another peak that's slightly smaller and simpler, and then a third peak, and you can see that repeats each time. So there's a lot of information that can be gained from this kind of waveform, and as you move the microphone around you can hear different elements of the heart sounds, namely the different valves that are shutting and indeed potentially the blood flow through the aorta if it's a little bit turbulent, as well as potentially sounds emanating from the heart hitting the chest wall. What you can also do with this kind of a microphone is hear the sound of blood flow starting up through blood vessels that are being gradually decompressed, and this is of course the basis for measuring blood pressure as done clinically. So first of all, let's just take a quick look at my arm. Now if I bend my arm a little bit like this, you can see down here in the crook of my elbow a nice pulsating artery, and if I put now the microphone onto that artery, you can see these relatively slow pulses as a waveform. Let me just start off Audacity to show that, and now I'm going to place it against my arm over that pulsating artery. Okay, so what you can see here again are regular pulses of pressure being recorded. They're more pressure than really sound because the frequency is relatively low. It's probably below audible frequencies here. But these pulses here are the flow of blood through the artery. And again you can see that this waveform here, it's complicated, but it's very stereotypical. There are again these multiple peaks which repeat with each heartbeat. And again they tell you a little bit about the dynamics of the pressure wave occurring within arteries. Now, in order to show you the so-called Korotkoff sounds, I'm going to use this pressure cuff here. So here I've got a standard blood pressure monitor, and I'm going to apply this onto my arm, and we're going to listen to the sounds that are produced as the air pressure is released out of the cuff. Now there are supposedly 5 phases to the Korotkoff sounds, and it's going to be hard for us to distinguish more than about 3 of those phases with this cuff. And that's because it bleeds out the pressure a little bit too rapidly. But let's see what we can do with this very simple microphone. So first of all, let me start off Audacity recording, and now I'm going to place the cuff onto my arm and the microphone above the artery. And now what you'll hear in just a second is the pumping up the cuff, and then you'll see the pressure gradually, or you won't see the pressure, but you'll hear the sounds change as the pressure declines. Okay, that wasn't bad at all. Let's just quickly take a look of this trace. So let's zoom out a little bit. So this here was where the pressure was declining. It's still above the systolic pressure. And right here you can see that there's the first little pulse of sound that's audible and visible here as a spike. It increases in intensity as the pressure drops. There's a little bit of a fall in intensity. Again, this might be the oscillatory gap between phases 2 and 3 of the Korotkoff sounds before they grow bigger again and then gradually decline before eventually they disappear. And over here, this pressure here would have been around the diastolic pressure. Systolic pressure would have been around about here. So these are the sounds that your GP would listen to. That's increasingly rare these days, but it's the gold standard for blood pressure measurements. So that's really all I wanted to show you today. It's an old broken microphone, but there's quite a lot of fun to be had with it.